Welcome back. Another episode of our Facebook Live where we bring in many different contents and talents also to bring it to our group. So today we are going to be talking about banks and loans. This is geared especially to our new, colleagues that just joined the group. So first of all, welcome to our group. If any of you guys have no experience or no past experience in real estate, this is a great place to start. We post many contents from the past. Definitely check out our files section. There's tons of knowledge in there as well. So my name is Dr. Noah Liu. I'm one of the admins with Tom Bibby Varghese. He's my partner and a good buddy of mine. We've done many deals together. So without further ado, Tom, I'll let you do your intro and let's take it off, man.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Dr. Noel. My name is Tom Bibby. I am part of this group's admin, and we bring you this Facebook Live every Thursday without fail, and educating you about real estate and how to get started and build a successful real estate portfolio. I didn't know anything about real estate, and I'm very glad to be in a position where, today because I got educated from several masterminds that Dr. Noel and myself we attended, and online education. And the biggest education is by doing deals yourself. So today I'm invested in over 1,000 units, and that's my passion. Real estate is my passion. I also run businesses, but real estate is where my heart is, and we want to talk to you about real estate today. Today we are going to talk about how to get money, how to find money to buy your deal, and what are the banks looking for when you go ask them for money. Is that our topic today, Noel? What do you think?
100%.
Yep.
Before we jump into the bank stuff, let's talk a little bit about the deal itself. Number one, the deal's got to make sense, not only for the banker but also for the person buying the deals. So, what are the banks looking for? The banks
So
are.
when you say the deal has got to make sense, what
Mhm.
does that mean? What does that mean? So if somebody is actually, like you said, it's going to be some people who have never done real estate who have joined our group recently. When
Mhm.
you say a deal makes sense, they may not understand. What do you? So explain that.
And deals make sense. One word: cash flow. And that is one of those things we always look at, number one. Now, there are many other real estate deals that one can get into, such as development. And we have a few guys in a group that does that, and they do it very successfully and beautifully. But what we are talking about is when we are trying to get a loan on a operating real estate, meaning that real estate has tenants, has people in there. Does it make sense? Does it cash flow? And that's exactly what the banks are looking for. They want to make sure that there is no legal challenges in that area. There's no like environmental problems in that area. There's no like title issues in that property. So all that being said, that's all part of due diligence. That's another topic. But we want to make sure like when the banks are looking at these kind of deals, it's cash flowing. When we talk about
So
cash flow,
basically, you're saying the deal has to be profitable, right?
100%. A
Yeah.
100%. So how do you get money, right? That's number one that you just said. We get money by putting some down payment as an equity and then getting the remaining balance from the bank or the lender, which we also call our partners.
So a
Now,
lot of people think when we say real estate, a lot of people are thinking they have to come up with all the money to buy the real estate, and you're saying that's not the case. You're saying,
like anything, we buy a house, right? We buy a house, we put a 20% down, we get 80% from the bank. Same exact scenario right here.
yep, good.
So what does the bank look for? The bank needs to be in a comfortable position saying that, okay, if your property is worth 1 million and you're putting in $20,000, sorry, $200,000 in 20%, 200K in 20%, the bank is comfortable lending out 800K, right?
Yep.
This is like, so what are we looking for, right? We start turning our heads a little bit. We got to start thinking about what is the price of the property, what is it going to sell at, what is the actual cash flow of the property, like how much is that property making, what are the expenses, such as fixed cost, and then we have variable costs. So fixed costs can be like anything like insurance or like what else, Give me some. My brain is
Oh,
fogging up.
fixed costs could be insurance, property tax,
Property
maintenance.
tax,
Yeah,
yeah, right?
those
Payroll.
pay right. Those are the things right now. The thing is,
Mhm.
um, guys, you don't need to come up with all the money. You just need that 20% and sometimes 25%, and the rest of the thing the bank is going to do. Now, you got to understand that real estate is the only place where the banks will lend you money to buy something. If you are going to buy a stock of Google or Apple, or no matter how great the company is, and say, hey, I want to go and buy $1 million in stock, can you give me 80%? The banks will say, heck no, there's not a chance. But when it comes to real estate, the banks want to do the deal with you as long as the deal is good, because why? There is collateral, there is something real attached to it, right? Meaning the risk is very low. The risk of losing an asset is low, especially if the deal is good. And like Dr. Noah Lou was saying, that the banks are your partner in the deal. So they will make sure that the deal is good before you get into it, which is one other reason why you need a bank in the deal, because if it's not a good deal, they'll tell you we can't lend on this deal.
Exactly.
So,
There's so
so
many other
yeah.
benefits to lend money, right? To find money. So what I would suggest is try to locate a property which is really, really good. It's something which you would love, not something which is just there and just for the heck of buying for for the sake of buying, but something that you will really love. It's got a cash flow, got to be in a good area. And lastly, we need to understand that once we put the money down, we always want to secure some sort of a debt. The debt is where the money is made. A lot of people get that wrong. They're like, oh no, I don't want to pay any interest. I don't want to pay like, over time. Just we need to switch our mindsets a little bit. The debt is where the money is made. So, Tom, you want to elaborate a little bit on that part? Why debt is good and not
Right.
mistake?
The thing is, at the end of the day, like we just talked about, one of the main reasons you want to have debt is because the bank is going to underwrite the deal with their sophisticated underwriting methods. They're going to use some third party. They're going to use in-house underwriting, because why? They're going to give you 80% of the money. They don't want the deal to be bad,
Sure.
so that they will be in trouble. So they will come. They will do that. That's number one reason. Second reason why you want debt is because your game plan is to buy more and more properties. Why? Because when the property appreciates is where you're going to make the real money. Okay. So if you buy one property and you put all the money into that property that you saved up, yeah, there will not be a debt payment, but you will just be sitting on that property until you make enough money 5 or 6 or 7 years down the line to buy another property. Means your acceleration is going to be slow. We are teaching here how you can create generational wealth, and not slow, not super slow, but not super fast either, but at an acceptable pace, right? So you want the bank's money so you can buy more property, and when the property appreciates, although you put only 200,000 in this example, you get the appreciation on the $1 million, the value of the property. So think about, if you had five properties like that, you will get appreciation on $5 million, as opposed to $1 million if you bought that property with all your money, right? So
100%.
that's one main reason that you want to use debt, and use debt wisely to buy great properties.
And I just want to elaborate a little bit what you said, because if you have all your money trapped in one real estate property, what happens is that's debt. That's like debt equity right there sitting in
Mm.
that property. What Tom just said was when you have like five different properties for $1 million each, your money is working really, really hard at this time. It's not debt equity. It's basically all the money that has been transferred to the other property as down payments, and they're working for you. Not only that, he also touched base on appreciation and depreciation. So both
Mm.
those aspects, they play a huge role, because when we do something called a cost segregation, the depreciation is added onto the entire value of the property, not just on a down payment. So that's another story, another topic for another day. Today, what we are still solely concentrating on is loans. So, Tom, touch base a little bit, right? So we secured 200K, we got 800K. Now, what is the bank looking for? Like, let's talk a little bit about the debt service coverage ratio. And what is it, and why is it important?
Absolutely. So debt service coverage ratio, or DSCR, is a term that you're going to hear a lot when you try to get money from the bank, right? When the bank is going to underwrite the deal, they are going to go by what is known as DSCR, or debt service coverage ratio. What that means is a magic formula that they use. It's a magic formula, but it's very simple, which we'll tell you in a little bit, that they use to figure out if the property is a good property. What debt service coverage ratio is nothing but net operating income divided by debt service.
Mhm.
So net operating income divided by debt service. If somebody is taking notes, DSCR is nothing but NOI divided by debt service, or the money that you pay the bank every month or every year. So, Noel, did I explain
So
that in a way that
exactly.
people can understand?
So what Tom basically meant was net operating income is like your bottom line, like what's left over after the gross income minus all the expenses, such as property taxes, insurances, payroll, maintenance, you name it, right? Everything has been taken out. That chunk that's left over, now that has to satisfy the bank that it can pay the principal as well as the interest on that loan. If that is satisfied and you still have 25% of the NOI left over, the banks are happy or
Yeah.
more. The more, the merrier. So let's say if one has 30% or 35% or 40% left over after paying the principal and the interest, banks love that deal. And that is something which the banks are willing to underwrite and ready to give you the loan. However, there's one other caveat. It's who is going to be signing on that loan. They need to see the strength of the borrower as well. So, Tom, without going too much in details, what are some of the aspects like these guys are looking for the borrower?
Right. And when you say you're signing on the deal, and most of these commercial properties that we talk about here, which is 5 units, 6 unit, or 60 units, 50 units, 30 units, those are unsecured. I mean, you're not personally guaranteeing those things. Those are really based on that property. So when we say signing, but you still have to sign on the debt, which is they're just sizing you up basically to make sure this guy is got the net worth to take down this property, and he's got what it takes to run the property. Those are the two important things. So basically, they just don't want to rent. And so they just don't want to lend money investing in real estate, or just graduated college or something like that, right? They want to know that this guy's got a net worth and he's got what it takes to run the property. So they just, I mean, it's not like your credit score doesn't matter. None of that matters. They just want to know that your credit, your net worth is equivalent to the numbers that they're looking for.
100%. And one last thing they also look for, before we land the plane here, they're looking for liquidity. They're
Mm,
looking for liquidity because they need to
yep.
find out like if the property is ever underwater or even coming close to being negative. They want to make sure the borrower has the ability to sustain the property for X amount of time, right? So, or the cash reserves, right, Tom?
Yep, absolutely, man. Yeah, very important because, there will be some rough waters every once in a while. I mean, you should have cash reserves, but those are the things that banks look for when they try to lend on a property. And but most of the time, sorry, not most of the time, all the time, it is based on the deal. If the deal is not making sense, they don't even want to talk to you. They don't want to see none of your paperwork, even if you're worth a million, I mean, 10 million bucks. They don't care if the deal does not make sense.
And lastly, there's one last point that the banks look for. They do something called a stress test. And
Mm,
a stress test is something where they will actually take the occupancy down all the way to a point to see what is a base minimum occupancy the property is gonna have that it can still survive and still pay all the expenses, still pay all the principal and the interest. So
mm,
they want to see that for sure. So once when somebody understands what they're looking for and how they're going to underwrite every single thing, and if there are any unforeseen expenses or if there's any other rehab expenses that needs to go into the deal, everything is factored in. So that is where the bank, comes in with the loan, and that is what they're seeing and that is what they're looking for.
mm.
So I hope this was pretty, informative tonight with what we discussed. We like to keep it nice and short and not overburden, too much information with or too much legal or real estate jargon. Keep it really, really simple for our new members. And big shout out to all the members that joined us recently. Just make sure you guys have any friends or family in the medical or dental industry, and if they want to learn more about real estate, come in and join. And everyone, you guys are more than welcome to pitch in ideas or start putting up some posts, right, Tom?
Yeah, absolutely. And also, if you have any questions based on what we discussed, especially regardless of where you are in the real estate journey, you're starting out. You could be a pro. You could be just in the middle of something, you're trying to do a deal. And if you have any questions, put that in the comments. We'd be happy to answer them. There's also so many very, very experienced operators in the group. They will jump in and help you as well. So feel free to send, if you put it in the comments. And if you need to send a DM, do that. But comments means everybody will benefit. So go ahead, guys. So we welcome your questions and any kind of comments you have.
Absolutely. It's one of those things where you don't know what you don't know. So anytime you have something like that, even if we cannot answer, we'll try to get somebody who can answer. Because in this uh, industry, it's all about networking and knowing people. So make sure to like and DM us with any questions. So last thing I would like to make a quick announcement is this is just we are thinking outside ahead, and just thinking out loud with everybody here. We are planning to do a meetup in Dallas. So Tom and I, we are deciding some dates there. I would like your input, and big shout out to Glenn Bow. We would like to have him there and invite him there as well. And just come on over. Let's meet up. Let's talk real estate. Let's talk about networking and getting to know you guys a little bit more. The last time we were in Dallas was with Johnny's event.
Yep. Yeah. 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 Exactly. When Johnny and Glenville when they did the event. Yeah. So it'd be great to see you all.
Come on over. We are not doing a summit. We are not doing an event. We are not charging any tickets. Just come on over. Just like to meet and greet and get to know you guys a little bit more. Right?
Yep. Absolutely.
All right.
All
With
right,
that being
guys.
said, we're gonna land the plane tonight. Thanks for watching, guys, and we will catch you next week.
All
Actually,
right.
no,
Bye, guys. Have a good night.
next week is Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah. Next week is Thanksgiving. I'll be in Cancun.
Right, right. So we are probably gonna skip next week, but we will definitely come back the week after.
All right.